Welcome to the show. Today I've got a special guest with me, and apart from being a mother, she's also a comedian. So I'm going to give it a bit of a joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cal Wilson.
Hey.
How you going?
I'm good. Now, Cam, seeing that you, a chef, have made a joke, I'm going to have a go at cooking something.
And what in particular are you after?
I want to feed my son, who is 15 months old, I want to feed him something interesting that's not the stuff he gets every day.
Yeah, and nutritional as well, I hope.
Yeah, go on.
Right, well, I've got a bit of a plan. I'm going to do food that your son can eat, but also adults can eat as well.
Sweet.
So when you have a nice little dinner party, you can just prepare one lot of food.
Great.
And everyone's going to enjoy it. But maybe throw a few party pies in there as well, just in case.
So what are you gonna make me cook?
Okay, so we're going to start off with a frittata. Then we're going to make gnocchi from scratch.
Nice.
And then lastly, we're going to do jelly and fruit, but a little bit more special than that. So stick around. We're going to start off though with a frittata, and to make this we're going to need 100 mils of cream, handful of green beans, half an onion, 1 tomato, a third of a zucchini, 4 to 5 eggs, and just some olive oil. But to start things off, I reckon I'll get you whisking these eggs up.
Alrighty.
So just crack them in, just get as much air in as possible, and I'll start doing the veg. Grab that knife though.
Yeah, you have the knife. You're probably less dangerous than I am.
So do you know the difference between a frittata and an omelette?
A frittata is fancier than an omelette?
Well, it is sort of fancier, but a frittata's got whipped eggs in it, whereas an omelette doesn't.
Then what do you do to the eggs in an omelette?
You're just supposed to stir them. It's supposed to be a lot denser.
Ah.
But to make this, we're just going to chop this up and just get it in here. Just making sure you've got an appropriate dish for it.
So not a plastic one is what you're
Probably
saying?
not plastic, no. Get a bit of oil in there too. You got to get as much air into that as possible. I would have brought some electric beaters, but
you wanted me to work my
well, I needed
muscles
time
out.
to cut up the veg, didn't I? So. Also with these, because we're doing it for kid-friendly today, there's no sort of herbs or pepper in there. But if you're just going to do this for adults, you could get a bit of chilli in there as well if you like. You want these to be quite small when you put them in too, because the idea being that it's going to be for a party, so you need to be finger food size.
Yep.
So when you cut it, you don't just want to cop one big bit of zucchini.
So is this airy enough, or is
No,
it
not
sweet?
even close, not even close.
So it's not going to work either. So if you do this a lot, do you have one massive arm?
No, I'd normally use electric beaters, but... So what do you normally cook for your son?
Things that I don't have to stir.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of chicken because we eat a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
So I make like chicken stock.
What do you make your stock out of though?
Chicken and leeks
But what type?
and onion and like a roasting chicken. Like
A whole chicken?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
very fancy.
And sound like I know what I'm talking about. Don't. And then he gets like broccoli and cauliflower, and he eats a lot of broccoli until he's old enough to go, I hate it. He's eating a lot of broccoli.
I love broccoli. So we just want all this just to cook down. It's not going to cook for long in the oven though, so you need to really make sure this is all cooked out.
When you say cooked out, what do you mean?
Well, you want it to all be softened up.
Okay.
So you want your onion to be clear, and you want your tomato to start breaking down. That'll also cut out some of the acidity to make it kid-friendly.
Yep.
You can see now that there's a foam on it at the top, and you can see it's a different texture.
Yep.
And it's quite a bit denser now. It's holding the air in there, so that should hold it when it cooks in here too. But so now to that, we'll whip some of this cream through there, 100 mils. And I'll add a bit of salt as well. Can kids eat salt? Is that all right?
Yeah. A little bit of salt, not too much salt. Doesn't mind a bit of onion, likes a bit of onion.
Yeah,
Doesn't mind
that's
leek.
good.
Yep. Yeah. Hates frittata though.
All right, so I think we can probably add our eggs to this now.
Thank God.
Can you see that? See how the onion's nice and clear?
Yep.
Tomatoes breaking down.
What are the beans doing? Where are the beans
Beans
at?
probably could be a little bit further, but that's all right. So in we go. I'll turn this
All
down
at
to
once?
low.
All at
Yep,
once?
all at once. And it should just cover it, which that's doing there. So you can see there, that's all starting to cook around the outside, and that means it's time to go in the oven.
Okay.
Might get you to put in there. Just watch the handles. No, not from the bottom.
On the bottom.
And now that should probably take around 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay.
You want it to be nice and firm because we're going to cut it into portions, so it can't be sort of runny at all.
And
so,
if you overcook it, does all the liquid come out of the eggs again? Like if you overcook scrambled
No,
eggs?
no, that's if you put cheese in it. That'll generally happen because it's the water breaking out of the cheese.
Okay.
But with that, if you overcook it, it's going to be dry as. It's going to be really nasty. Yeah, it looks pretty good to come out.
It's sounding good.
Smelling good as well, I reckon. So you can see there's a bit of colour on top there, and it's risen quite a bit. Give it a bit of a shake and see if it's... Yeah, so there's no movement there, so
okay.
it's good to go.
So if that is still wobbling, back in the oven?
Back in the oven, yeah, but you should be able to see when it's got that much colour on top, because we've already started cooking it from the bottom, then it should be pretty right to go.
The thing about this is actually something I can make this.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And you can choose a cutter in the meantime if you like. Or ease.
Oh!
Where do you want to go?
Ah, so I see what you're doing. So
fancy
these are like
touch.
little...
Yeah, that's why I've got to let it sit so it firms up so I can just pull that out. So yeah, you can see how much that's come down now. It's just dropped out a little bit. You can see the border of where it was.
Okay.
And it's quite a bit firmer as well, so I reckon we'll try one. So just probably go for the outside first. Oh, whoop, wrong cutter. Yeah.
Jeez,
I'll tell you to
man.
pick and then I'll just butt in.
So that one?
Yeah, see if it'll come out. It might not. We might have to tell you. You're going to have to give it a bang. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll turn it out.
We might have to turn it out.
There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty glad we're cutting it into
Little bits.
little bits, because otherwise we might be in a bit of strife here.
God, it looks great though. The bottom
That's
looks
all right.
fantastic.
So just a little tip for you at home, maybe grease your container before you put it in.
This is the Wilson
all right.
style of cooking. So give it another crack.
So yeah, maybe we'll just get a couple of good examples if you can.
That smells amazing.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks great.
If this had have sat here for a bit longer, well,
I dropped it.
good try. But if it had sat here for a bit longer, it probably would have worked a bit better. Keep going, we've got to fill up the plate.
sorry. No, that's
It's
all
not
I'm
just
gonna,
you
that's
eating.
all-
It's not just you eating
That's all I'm going to
today.
serve my guests. That's it.
It's probably best served at room temp.
Yep. Because you've got to get a conversation like that because it's too hot.
Yeah, yeah, and people, you know, they'll whinge, oh, you know, it's too hot on my hands. You're gonna give it a little taste test for us, though?
Yep. Good.
Yeah? So that's our frittata taken care of, but coming up next we're going to make gnocchi, so stick around.
Are we going to make gnocchi as messily as we've made frittata?
I'd say it's going to be worse than this, I'd say, but hopefully the end result will be good.